Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new crypto update, especially focused on BTC today because the rest of the market is cooked anyways, but BTC gave us a clear buy signal. So after predicting this sell off over here on our last crypto update, you see market perfectly went exactly as we predicted. If you want to go back to the last video and check it out, there's a lot of value inside how we basically have predicted every move of BTC so far since the last couple of months basically, including this buy over here and then obviously the buy over here. But at the end of the day, now is what we are focused on, right? And right now we at the end of the day finished our bearish sequence, for now the internal one. So we have two bearish sequences active, and mid-term I'm still very bearish. Now short term I'm bullish, and then long term I'm insanely bullish, right? So you need to get that right. I'm not selling just selling off and saying it's sell while everyone else is saying buy. But so far all of the influencers and people that I follow in the crypto space have been saying all around here buy, and are getting wrecked. We just had another 1 trillion US dollars completely wiped off the crypto market last week, right? So they are definitely clearly wrong and we are right, and that's why we continue to do what we do, because it works, right? So first of all, again, we are in a bearish sequence, which is the one that we started after the liquidation event, right? So over here we had the high, then we had the liquidation event, we started to build a bearish sequence, which is basically this one. We activated it, and then internally we have another bearish sequence, which is basically this one over here. And this one is the one we use to predict where BTC is gonna go, that it's gonna drop lower, right? And we had a internal bullish sequence that nearly got finished, and over here was the re-entry sell that I called, which I didn't personally take because I had predicted that we are not, I mean, two scenarios, right? But I would have waited, and that's what I did until we finish this bullish sequence over here. So my entry was over here and I didn't get filled. Price started to react at the 50%, which is perfectly correct, and then sold off and now finished C target. And from C target, it is valid to buy again. Plus we have some good bullish reaction in the smaller time frame. So if you go into the smaller time frame of BTC right now, since we swing trade, right, you will see that we are about to crack the EMA 200 over here, coming in as resistance all the time, right? And we are building this bullish break of structures over here, as you can see. So we have two break of structures pretty close to each other bullish, which is very nice. And at the end of the day, again, it's very valid to basically buy after a sequence is finished. Now you will also see that in the order book and in the heat map at the end of the day. As you can see over here, we had a lot of buys coming in at 93,000. We might bounce back to that, which is about $85 million worth of BTC are sitting here at 93,518. And then our big sells are coming in again in 105,400 basically. So if you see this 105,400, so we have a little bit of this range here. And if you go back into our analysis, our valid re-entry sell will be starting at 105, right? So we have 105,400, which is basically this zone over here. I marked it out a little bit. That's where we are getting all of the sell orders in, right? And the limits so far. So it is very overlapping, and it's pretty easy setup in my opinion, and has a very high probability of working out. Now again, I'm not saying you guys that it's 100%, that never works. I'm not giving you any financial advice. I'm just sharing what I, as a pro trader and investor, is doing, right? That's what all of these videos are about and how I get there. And number one, obviously, is the system, the Elliott wave and Fib system. Number two, we have the heat map, right, which shows us the orders where they're sitting. And so far, there's only buy orders sitting here at 93, so somewhere over here, right? And there is sell sitting over here, strong ones, right, over 50 million. And therefore we have this little range. At top of that we have the EMA 200, so it makes pretty much sense we bounce back to the EMA 200, and from there, as I already predicted over here, we come back down, right? Because so far we are still in a mid-term bearish setup, and we need to continue to be bearish because we have activations until we don't see a clear break of this bearish structure somewhere, something like this. We are going to continue to be bearish, right? So we will look for sell entries over here again. That's why already in the future I have marked my sell trade, which I'm going to enter where the limit orders are sitting, the sell limit orders, right? Basically the bids. And then we have our stop loss again here between 0.86 and 822 Fibonacci, which gives us a 6% and then basically a TP of 25%, which ends in the last and so far last scenario C target, which is at 77,000 from the primary bearish sequence, right? And again, we have to be in a bearish setup because after C target is finished, and we talk about this every time, and BTC finished C target over here, we have to sell. We don't have to, but it's valid to sell. And then the normal re-entry is the 50% whole correction level. So from where the sequence basically started, right? So if we take Bitcoin's initiation and we take the highest price we ever had, which is 126,100, right? And then we get this quadrant over here, which is the re-entry sitting at 64.5 thousand. We could also go to the 0382, which would be a strong trend continuation, but that's why we are trading it downwards. That's why we are selling long term, or let's say mid-term, but short-term we are buying right now, right? So short-term buy, mid-term sell, long-term bullish as always on BTC, right? There's just no reason to not be, and we ideally need to use these prices here to buy in more BTC to increase our holdings. But we are not talking about investing right now, which the investing plan is clear, buy. But in trading wise, more short term, there is a buy here and then a sell again, and that's what I'm gonna follow and do, right? Now, that's one of the most important things. Now, in general, 2025, so far, it's not finished yet, but close to, we have about 40 days, something like that, is a very historical year for BTC. But what is very underwhelming at the end of the day is, and I'm gonna show you on X, I posted about it, we have a year-to-date of 9% in BTC. So if you would have bought BTC a year ago until today or a couple of days ago, you would have made 9%, which is very, very bad, obviously, right? But still, 2025 was very interesting for BTC. Why? Because many banks came on board. Some of the biggest banks, or the biggest banks in the world, started to get into BTC. And that is obviously very interesting. But here you see it, okay? Precious metal year to date, okay? You see gold, silver, platinum, palladium, all of the ones that I've been trading. And I've told you guys many months ago that I'm going to go heavy on gold, silver, platinum, palladium. And I made a shit ton of money in the precious metals, right? While I was circling out of crypto and taking a lot of profits alongside. We made a lot of money in XRP, we made a lot of money in BNB, we made a lot of money in XLM, we made a lot of money in all of the cryptos, right? So we circled out a little bit and called the perfect top at 126, which where we started to react, and since then we are down. Since then we are down of our highest high where we circled out until now at around 25%, right? So about 25% is minus since we called the top, right? And it's unnecessary to hold because our system tells us to go out. Now you see here Bitcoin today has a 9.96% profit. Now if you compare this to gold and silver, it is insanely weak, obviously, right? So it was good that a couple of months ago we circled out and focused more on precious metals, which again we made a lot of money on. And now at the end of the day, as you can see, this one was our predictions, you know, for the ones that say, oh yeah, you just say that in the beginning of the video. But here you say, here you see on November 9th, I posted this chart setup. We're going to go up and then down again. And then if you go and see, that's exactly what happened. We went up, we reacted a little bit earlier than what I predicted, and we went down, perfectly finished the sequence, right? So now basically the BTC outlook is this one. From here we go up until we get the triggers of the bits, and then we're going to go down again so far, okay? Can change, but that's the outlook for so far. Depends a lot because this week we also have a lot of very interesting news. FOMC meetings, talking about the rates of the Dixie, where the Dixie is going to go because, excuse me guys, these airplanes always fuck my throat. But Dixie is bouncing back off the EMA 200. The thing is, we need to really see, because this is very important here, okay? Dixie up, crypto down. So if we should continue to see a bullish Dixie, which I think, I just don't know if we're going to start to react now or if we're going to come back into the 50% and then react. We still need to wait for the signs of what is going to happen on the FOMC meetings, on the CPI, government shutdown finally ends. So we're going to get finally some good data. And if we get good data, then Dixie is going to be very bullish, right? But so far it is bearish. Now the thing is, since we already have been very, very bearish, crypto is still selling off a lot, right? We still lost $1 trillion in market cap, even though Dixie is going down, which is not good, because normally if Dixie goes down, crypto should go up. Now, if on top of that, you know, we should see a increase, okay, of the Dixie, then crypto long term is going to continue to go down, right? There's right now no impact of the Dixie into the cryptos because crypto is just selling off. Just everyone knows about it, right? Some of the biggest holders, whales, have been selling, which is a very bad sign short term and midterm, but also a sign towards what we are saying. They are at the end of the day loading off because they are foreseeing a stronger Dixie in the future. Therefore, crypto is going to be down. So they're kind of seeing the end of the bull market in that sense, right? Again, I don't believe in bull and bear markets anymore. That's not how the market goes anymore. We are too institutionalized for it. And I've been speaking about it so many times on my value channel, which I actually just recently uploaded a new video about altcoins. Check it out. If you're still in altcoins, then please watch this video because you're going to continuously get wrecked, right? So be very careful with that. So yeah, that's basically the outlook for BTC and for this week. We just need to see. Pretty valid to have a buy here. It is riskier than normal, yes, but still very valid setup. And at the end of the day, the orders are showing us that. And even if you go into the Velo setup over here, you can see there is some levels that we can hit over here to go back and test these clouds, this downtrend, but we are in a clear downtrend since a very long time, as you can see, right? So market sentiment has shifted very much, and you can see we are getting a lot of orders in, selling over here at 109 and then over here 116, which were formal ones. They're not active anymore, but you see more sell pressure and then buy pressure at the end of the day, right? But now if you go into a smaller time frame, you can see at the end of the day here, 1 hour, we are getting a lot of buy orders in. These are the order book pressure bands. They just show if the order book is overly bullish, then green, or red, or neutral, then turquoise, right? But basically now we are getting in a lot of strength over here, okay? And yeah, that's basically it, guys. That's the game plan. That's what we're gonna follow. Always mind your risk management, very, very important. And with that being said, pretty much out of crypto, don't have anything else than BTC right now. Focus on what I just said, gold, silver, the commodities, and I'm gonna buy this Bitcoin trade, which I'm already in, and it looks very, very good, guys. So with that being said, follow this channel, like, ask any questions. See you in the next one.